大家好，我是王大同，欢迎大家观看布雷迪秀。
大家好。
在本赛季，我们将会给大家带来一系列的关于布雷迪的采访和有趣的视频。So hi Tom, we're very excited to bring this show to China, and the Chinese fans are very excited to see the show as well. First, start off, what made you decide to do this show for the fans in China?
Well, after my experience of being there last year, I was in Beijing and Shanghai. I had such a great experience. And I think that I realized the love for the game of American football and, wanting to allow the fans there to get some more information and some great features and things that be part of the show that we could show our fans in China. So it'll be a really fun show over the course of the season. And I look forward to connecting with our fans there, all the Patriot fans and the Tom Brady fans, and making it a great show.
Yeah, and you went to China last summer, and you had a great time. Which part of the trip was the most memorable for you?
Wow, they were all great. To be on the Great Wall with my son, my oldest son, was a memory that I'll never forget. We had some great food. Went to Shanghai and got to do clinics.
Yeah.
And we had that one day where we saw each other, and we had all the rain in Shanghai at the clinic. But the whole trip was memorable. It was really fast. By the time I got there, we were doing things every day. But I just loved the culture. I loved the experience of being there, learning so much about, a beautiful country. And I look forward to going back.
Great. And what can fans expect to see some of the stuff from this show this year?
Well, I think it'll be some unique interviews that we'll get to do with some players that I play with. Some unique, fun things that hopefully the fans will love to see. And we'll give you some insight into American football, the game, how great of a sport it is, all the wonderful things that it teaches you as an athlete. I've been playing for 19 years professionally, but altogether about 28 years of football in my life. I love the game. I love the sport. I love playing for this particular team, the Patriots, and I want to continue to do it as long as I can play at a championship level. Julian, thanks for joining me on our show. We want to give our fans in China great insight into a lot of things that we do, and you're our first guest. So I'm very happy about that. Tell our fans why you got into the game of football.
I got into the game of football because of my family. I had an older brother that was 7 years older than me. He was playing. My father was a coach. So I was basically running around the football field in diapers at a very young age, and it just grew on me. You know, being in America, this is America's most popular sport. So when I was a young kid, we all had those dreams of being like a guy like Tom Brady, because I could actually remember when I was in 8th grade saying, I'm Tom Brady on the asphalt of recess, which is like break in America school.
I'm a little older than Julian.
So, those are my main reasons,
Yeah. Well, what do you enjoy about the game still today, about playing at the professional level?
I love the competition. There's so many things in football that you can use just in life. It's a microcosm of life. That's what one of my coaches at my junior college used to say. The more you put in, the more you get out. The extra little things, focusing on that, helping develop your game, the camaraderie with the fellas, the accountability, the sacrifice, the dependability, all those things are such a huge part of this game to get a competitive advantage against a team that you play that, I like that kind of stuff, I guess.
Were those things, all the accountability and discipline, do you think you were born with those things? Or do you think you kind of grew into those over the course of your career?
I think, I knew of those things, but with leaders like yourself, like our coaching staff, Mr. Kraft, you see the leader do it. You see a guy like Tom who's been around, for a while, and you see that he takes the extra time, and he puts in, the work and gets here early, leaves late, takes care of his body, all that stuff, and it rubs off on you.
Last question before you go. Your physical stature, you're very strong and fit. But most people may see American football players as these monsters, these, you know, sumo wrestlers almost, but 300 plus pounds. I mean, you're 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", 195, 200 pounds. What is it about your physical stature that allows you to play, you know, the professional game?
I mean, there's very big guys in this game. There's 6'7" guys that are 350 pounds, but there's also the smaller, more skillful set type guys, which I just so happen to be. You know, I have to rely and lean on what God gave me, and that was quickness and being able to, you know, use my mind and seeing coverage and those types of things to be a savvy type player. So, you know, I don't necessarily battle against those 300-pounders. You know, sometimes I have to battle against a linebacker who's, you know, 6'4", 240, and who can run as fast as me. But I have an advantage because I'm quicker and I know what I have to do and I know what you want ultimately. So, you know, I think being able to carve a niche out and you know, really be on the same page with the quarterback and know the overall concept of each play, why you're doing something, I think that can go a long way for a guy that's undersized.
Yeah, and it's such a game of teamwork. I mean, I think being so tactical and us always being on the same page has allowed us to, you know, play together for so long and do some great things.
1, 2, 3, avocado ice.
And that too.
Oh yeah. So we finish each other's sentences.
We always do.
That's how it has to go for us to succeed in this sport.
It is. Well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Great to be with you.
Always.
Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Yeah. Look forward to the next time.
Shishi. Ni.
So Tom, why did you decide to start with TB12?
Well, it was started really under the principles of the way that I lived my life outside of football to prepare myself for playing the sport. It's a big challenge on your body. It's a very physical sport, and I approach it as a year-round way of taking care of myself. The business itself was started to basically take all the things that I've learned over the years so that other people can apply those things in their life and hopefully see, you know, some of the benefits that I've got to experience. We have one body in our life. It's our asset. And you're not very good as a football player if your body's broken down. So I learned how to take care of myself a different way than probably most athletes have. And it's really worked for me. And it's allowed me to achieve things in my career that I could never have imagined. So the idea behind the business, I wanted to basically get that message out to other people. And it's been very fun and very successful over the last 4 years. And seeing it grow has been something I'm very proud of.
Okay, to a casual Chinese football fan, how would you explain what TB12 is to them?
Well, I think it comes down to maybe 4 or 5 principles that I try to live by. When I train, you know, I train very specific to what my sport is. I don't overload my muscles to the point where they're too short, dense, and stiff, and they can't allow me to do the things that I need to do on the field. I think too often athletes get into maybe some cross-training or a lot of things that won't really correlate to what they do, and it's a very easy way to get injured. And if you're injured, you can't play well. My diet, I try to eat very healthy. I try to keep the inflammation in my body down. So the foods that I eat, I try to keep them from causing inflammation in my body. I feel like our sport is so physical all the time. The last thing I want to do is pile inflammation that I'm eating on top of the inflammation that I've already experienced in the game. I try to stay very hydrated. I drink a lot of water every day, at least half my body weight in ounces per day, to allow my muscles to be very, very pliable, and that's the key.
That's the key.
And when you're young, you become very pliable. Over the course of a long period of time as you age, all these muscle contractions of standing, sitting, running, jumping, cutting, throwing, they make your muscles shorter and denser. And I spend a lot of time at the TB12 Sports Therapy Center working on my muscles to keep them long and pliable so that I can always, they can be functionable for what I'm asking them to do. So those are the primary things that we really focus on. Most people really don't focus on pliability. And what I experienced over a long period of time was, you know, I would be throwing the football a lot, right? And there'd be a lot of, early in my career, there was a lot of tension in my elbow, just from the countless repetitions of throwing. And through all the weightlifting I was doing, all the muscles in my forearm were getting really short and tight. Yeah. And all the muscles in my bicep were getting short and tight. And my tricep short and tight. And all the stress of the throws were going to my elbow joint. Okay. I decided that if I was to make these more pliable by making them longer and softer, there wouldn't be tension on my elbow. And all the pain on my elbow went away. And I've applied those methods for the last 13 years of my career. And I really don't have joint pain. I don't have knees that hurt or ankles or elbows or shoulders. A lot of it's muscle soreness, which I always try to, through pliability treatments, get rid of that as quickly as possible.
Okay. How much influence does Eastern concepts have in TB12?
You know, an incredible amount. The co-founder of my business and my body coach, Alex, studied Chinese medicine, and that was his master's. So I've used acupuncture, I've used cupping, I've used herbal plasters, and a lot of the treatments are based on lymphatic system, trigger points, and trying to, all these wonderful things that I actually got to experience when I went to China. We went to an ancient Chinese hospital, and we got to see a lot of these practices still at work, and it was really fun to see it in person. And so many of those doctors were really hands-on with their patients, and so much in the medical system was keeping people healthy rather than just allowing them to get sick and then treat that, which I feel like being really proactive with your health is so important. Why wait to get sick before you start to take care of yourself? I think if you could take care of yourself, it'll keep you from getting sick and allow you to do the things that you love to do.
Where can people learn more about TB12?
We have a website, the tb12sports.com. You can learn a lot about the methods that we do. All the things that really that are available at TB12 are the things that I do. And everything's tested on me. I'm kind of the guinea pig. And if I don't do it, then it's not a part of TB12. So whether that's the snacks that I eat or the foods that I eat or the supplements that I take or the bands that I use, they're all things that I use as a part of my daily routine.
Okay, Tom, so this is the chopstick challenge. You have 1 minute to pick up 4 items. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, ready?
I'm not very good with this. We'll give it our best shot.
Okay, we're going to start from easy to hardest, okay? You get 60 seconds. Ready? Set, go.
Okay, here we go. I'm going from this way.
Oh, this is very easy. Okay, next one a little bit harder.
This is all hard for me.
Wow, this is actually, you're making it looking really easy now.
How's that?
That's very good. Now this one is a lot harder. You can't use the shoelaces. And it's actually quite heavy, so it's a true test of your skills. You almost got it. You almost got it. You got the right idea.
Oh, I had it.
Almost, almost.
Oh.
You almost had it. I think you just got tilted a little bit.
A minute. Here.
Now the rule is that we cannot use the laces. That's why it's looking a lot harder.
Oh my God.
So you still got 20 seconds.
Oh, this one.
This one actually is the hardest, but wow, okay. Now, last 10 seconds.
Oh no!
Take your time, take your time. Nice.
We did it.
It's just like typical Tom Brady, last second comes through, clutch Tom.
Thank
nice
you.
Performance. Okay, Tom, so we have received a lot of questions from our Chinese fans.
Great.
I'd like to ask you. Let's get started on some of them.
Okay.
第一个来自 NFL 艾宾老师，为什么你总是你？So the first question is, why do you win so much? Why is it always you that end up winning?
Well, I think we have a great organization, a great culture, and I think the continuity of our team over a long period of time has helped us in many, many ways. But it's a lot of hard work. You got to get some good lucky bounces from time to time. But I think we have just a great culture of success, and hopefully we can keep that going.
好，第三个问题来自于请教我金莲将，你是怎样认识你太太的 ？How did you meet your wife?
Well, we met on a blind date, and it wasn't blind because I knew what she looked like.
Okay.
But we got set up by a friend who said, you should meet this woman and she should meet you because I think you guys will hit it off. So it's been 12 years that we've been together.
Wow.
And he was right. We hit it off.
Do you mind me asking who this friend is?
Yeah, his name's Ed Razik. He's a great friend of ours.
Wow.
Yeah, he worked with her and knew her for a long time. He worked with her at one of the clients that he was the president of one of the companies that she worked with.
one of the great matchmaking success stories.
I know. He gets asked a lot all the time about hook him up with other people, but
下一个问题来自松儿小姐，您最喜欢中国菜是是什么？What's your favorite Chinese dish?
duck.
Duck. Peking duck.
Peking duck.
Peking duck.
Yeah. We went to, I don't remember the name of the restaurant in Shanghai, but we had a great, right on the bun one night.
北京烤鸭。好最后一个问题来自于革命先辈，这个赛季爱国者的新的球员里面，哪一个球员您觉得是会贡献最多？So of all the new additions to the offense this season, which player do you think will make the most impact?
That's a good question. The answer is I don't know. I hate making predictions for people because I think they have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can have enthusiasm about certain players based on what they've showed in practice, but ultimately you've got to go out and prove it in front of 70,000 people every week, day in and day out. You got to show up, be a professional. You know, professional football is very different than being an amateur, being a college player. This is about being a professional in every way. And I think the people who can understand that, they really excel because this is a different level and it takes a different level of commitment than previous levels of football take. So for me, it's a year-round commitment. It's all-encompassing in my life. From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I'm thinking about it and how I can be the best player I can be for the team. And I'm hoping that my teammates do the same. And when we do that and we're committed to each other and committed to the team goals, then we win a lot of games.
Let's go!